What's going on, gang? It's your boy J-Rock, J to the ROCC, aka IwisS HQ. And today is the day that the New York Knicks open up this season, taking on the world champs, the Boston Celtics. So before I get into that, let's take a listen.
You are listening to IwisS TV Live, your #1 podcast for all news and updates.
Yes. You heard it. We're here live on IwisS TV. And like I said, I'm J-Rock, JR to the O to the double CC, aka IwisS HQ. And today, the New York Knicks are taking on the NBA champs, the Boston Celtics. Actually, we'll be taking, I think the Celtics, if I'm correct, the Celtics are at home for their home opener, which means they're going to be having, I think that they normally, if I'm correct, they'll be having their ring of honor not ring of honor, but a ring ceremony for the championship. So, New York, let's go ahead and spoil that with giving them an L. But, anywho, this is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think, when the schedule came out, I was like, this was before they made, some of the trades and some of the, acquisitions and stuff like that or whatever, and, signs that they made in the off season. When this came out, I was like, the NBA know what they're doing. To start the season with these two teams, knowing what could have been if they had got past the Indiana Pacers. Because don't get me wrong, last year, the Knicks was rolling. They were rolling. It was a phenomenal season. Had to end with injuries. But hey, the next man got to step up or whatever, and it was just too much in the end. Due to injuries or whatnot. But it's a new season. Like I said, new people on the scene. Definitely new people on the scene. And before I get into that, I want to say because last season, I think originally when the Knicks picked up Brunson, big body Brunson, people was like, that's a bad pickup. Why are they paying this little man all this money? But if you followed him, this dude's a winner. You know what I'm saying? This dude's a winner. I mean, he got drafted. I think the same time. I think was it Luka? I think, if I'm correct, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe he got drafted the same time that Luka got there. When the Mavs have drafted Luka, and trust me, that's a list right there. You know what I'm saying? But when he did get in, man, Brunson balled out. I can remember when I think it was in the playoffs, and I think Luka had went down, and they needed a point guard to step up. Brunson came in there and stepped up. I think he dropped 30 points. I think it was about 30 points, 30 plus points. Either way, the dude dropped buckets. Like the dude dropped buckets. And even then, the dude's been a winner. They talked about his size. They said he was too short. They said he couldn't run it. Man, so many things about this man that they said that he couldn't do, and he's just been proving everyone wrong. So I'm glad the Knicks had picked him up. I'm so glad the Knicks had picked him up because, like I said, the sports media was downing him. This is what are they doing? I think at the time they wanted the Knicks to go at the what's the player from Cleveland? What's that player from Cleveland? I can't think of him on the top of his head, but there was a point guard that they was trying to get from Cleveland that they wanted. A lot of people was like, they should get him. I can't remember his name off top, but y'all know who it is. Put that joke in the chat. But again, getting back to Brunson, that was a good pickup, and then they started making other pickups, with Dante and Josh Hart, and you can see this team coming together. You can definitely see the team coming together. Like I said, I'll get into Dante a little bit. But I want to just stress that, the Brunson pickup was a good pickup. Rose is doing a good job, because trust me, Knicks fans, y'all know man, it's been it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute. We ain't never had no salary cap. We ain't never had all. And now this man's he's moving mountains. He's moving mountains. So yeah. So with that being said, like I said, last year ended. You know, they got beat by Indiana. You know, injuries, you know, arise. You know, Randall was out, Mitchell Robinson. You know, then Brunson got her. OG. I tell you what, OGG, man, that man, that is a special player right there. That is a special player. Cause I'm not gonna lie, and obviously I was like, man, they need to sign this dude. I think they was like what 28-3 or 23-3 or 25-3 or something like that. I know there was 20-something-3, I believe, when he was on the court. They was dominating. So now to have the acquisitions that they picked up, which I'm going to get into, like last year in the playoffs, I said this. I said that the New York Knicks have the pieces together, but the one thing that I was like they missing is a stretch five. Now, me personally, I didn't think they was going to go out and do a trade that they made with Karl Anthony Towns, because me personally, I said, hey, look, man, if it's a cap thing, if it's a money thing, or whatever it may be, for real, you got how many players that don't get drafted in the NBA? What, 22, 23, 2,500 players that don't get drafted in the NBA? You can find a stretch big, for certain situations where we need you to stretch the floor, because Mitchell, he's not shooting. You know, Hartenstein, which if I could have sworn Hartenstein could shoot threes. I might be getting him mixed up with another big man, but I could have sworn Hartenstein was a shooter at before they got him, and then eventually, you know, it was like, nah, we don't need you to shoot. But I could have sworn Hartenstein was a shooter. But nevertheless, in the playoffs last year, the Celtics showed something in the playoffs that was like, you know what, the Knicks need to get a stretch five, because what the 76ers was doing was this. They knew the Knicks didn't have no big man that can shoot. So Embiid and everybody else, as soon as Brunson penetrated, they was like, yo, okay, you in here, we gonna bring a double. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, they didn't have a big man to stretch the floor. Hartenstein shooting, you know what I'm saying, left and right hand, you know, floaters and hooks and whatever, you know what I'm saying, push layups and whatnot. And then, you know, Mitchell Robinson, he dunking. You know what I'm saying? He dunked. I don't even know if Mitchell Robinson got a mid-range shot. I don't think so. I think I barely see him take a mid-range shot. He's all inside. Nevertheless, the dude's when he's healthy, Mitchell Robinson is that dude. It's just a dang on shame that, you know, he's just injury prone, man. He's injury prone. But with the acquisitions, with the pickups that the Knicks did in the offseason, by getting Karl Anthony Towns, that was a shocker. You know, and to be completely honest, I think as Knicks fans, we kind of need to sometimes just let things happen the way they go, because I know a lot of us was mad with why they didn't sign Hartenstein back. You know, he left. I think he's with the Thunder now, and then it was okay. Well, you know, he was the driving force once Mitchell Robinson got down. But I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm gonna say this. When that 76ers round, when they played the 76ers in the playoffs last year, as much as Hartenstein was ramping on Hartenstein, or he this and that there, I'm gonna tell you something. When Embiid got his points, just go back and see who was in the game when Embiid was balling, when he was getting his points. When Robinson was in the game, he was frustrating Embiid. So much to the point that where he had to, you know what I'm saying, do some crazy. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like to say or accuse, but Embiid should have got thrown out of that game. He should have got thrown out. There's a couple of times that he should have got thrown out the game. But you know what? Hey, look, sport politics, probably knew that, hey, look, we don't take him out. We gotta make this a game. We gotta make this watchable. But if you ask me, Embiid should have got thrown out a couple of times in that series because I've never seen him play like that. You know what I'm saying? For me, I feel like he's always been a upstanding player, but to a degree, he was playing a little dirty. He playing a little dirty. Like, you go down to the floor, bad enough you already know Mitch Robinson already has ankle problems, and the stuff that he was doing, like, come on, man. Come on, bro. But that just shows you the psyche, or shows you the intimidation, shows you the weight of having Robinson in there as opposed to Hartenstein. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, don't get me wrong, Hartenstein, you did your thing. You know what I'm saying? You went and got that money. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like I said, I think he could have, again, when it went out, we was all like, man, the Knicks ain't trying to spend that money. Hart's felt like, what we gonna do? But again, people gotta realize Mitch is that dude. When he healthy, he is that dude. And to be honest, if he didn't go down, I don't think Hartenstein would have had the season that he had. But hey, when your number's called, you got to come out there and do what you got to do. But nevertheless, with his departure, look what happens. I think everyone's trying to build a team to beat the Celtics. Celtics acquired KP. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a huge Porzingis fan. I'm mad things couldn't work out with him in the Knicks. And put some pieces around him because the dude definitely is a unicorn. And I'm glad I'm mad. I'm glad that he got his ring, but I'm mad he got it with the daggone Celtics. I'm not even gonna lie to you because, man, the dude, I was proud that he got one. It's not too many players I was like, man, they leaving, but nah, Porzingis, he's the dude. He's that dude. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, to get back to what I was saying, teams are building to beat the Celtics. The Knicks, they went out and got, and I'm hoping I say his name right, Mikal or Mikal Bridges, to anchor, I think, that backcourt. Because now you look at, what was going to be the Nova Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Now has Bridges and, OG on the wings. And they both long on, they both tall, they both got long length, they both, they grit. They defensive minded, players, and you need that. You need that, So that was a good pickup that they did, trade or whatnot that they did to get Bridges, because that's going to help definitely on, the backcourt. Now, again, going back to what I was saying in regards to them having to get a big man or a stretch five. Because like I said, again, I really wasn't, I was like, you know what? Just get a person, a shooter, a big man shooter, a stretch five that can come in at certain situations. Because, again, Philly laid out the blueprint to how to manage Brunson and that offensive power. Let Brunson drive in. We're going to double him, force him to kick it out to either or. Force him to kick it out. So what did they do? These guys had and went out and got Karl Anthony Towns. Cat. Now, I'm mad they had to give up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm mad they had to give up. Dante. Because don't get me wrong. When they started making these trades, the party was like, yo, where does Randall fit in all this? Because his game style, his play style, and I got to give Randall a lot of credit, because I think this run that the Knicks have, I think, started with Randall, with him coming to New York. So I got to give this man his flowers. But I do got to say that, when it came to playoff time, the dude was a no-show. He has been a no-show when it comes to playoffs. And, I mean, the fact is in the pudding. He's been a no-show when it comes to the playoffs. And I think he was due for a contract, a bigger contract by the end, I think this offseason or next offseason or whatnot. I mean, you know, you got to get in when you fit in. You know what I mean? And I really, it would have been, I think, I know that, you know, for them to have acquired Cat, somebody had to go. Somebody had to go. And honestly, when news broke out that Dante was part of that, man, I was like, no, not Dante. Because that dude got a burner. You know, and last year, he especially in the playoffs, like because some games he was not hitting, and he came in there and he sparked, like he was that spark, man. And because he had that New York pride. I'm not gonna lie to you, he had that New York pride, man. He embraced that joker. But yeah, it's sad to see him go. But what the Knicks have now is a dimension. They're no longer a one-dimension team. Now you can say they're a three-dimension team. They can run the ISO with Johnson coming in. They can run the pop with the pick and roll and the pick and pop. Not only that, and then also, you know, the ISO and kick. I call it the ISO and kick. You know, because again, you got OG on the wing, and you got Bridges on the wing, and now you got a Cat. And if I'm correct, I think they all shoot almost 40% from the three. Man, that's some numbers right there. So as a defense, what are you now going to do? And I didn't even speak on Josh Hart. I know reports have came out saying that he's a little lost. Whether or not it's true or not, but there's reports that have been saying that he's a little lost. He don't know where he fit in with this offense. I tell you right now, Josh Hart, if you ever hear this, stick with it, because you might not feel, if this is true, if you might not feel that you are valuable, or you don't know where you fit in with this offense, you fit in with this starting lineup. And here's why. With Cat and Brunson playing that pick and roll or pick and pop, that's going to pull the big out. Last year, Josh Hart, you was averaging a double-double because you was snagging boards. Ain't nobody else going in that paint with you. Ain't nobody else going in there to grab that you know what I'm saying, go from them rebounds. So now if you have Cat on the outside, you got OG and Bridges on the wings. That leaves you now one-on-one with your man to grab boards. I put that up against anybody you snagging them boards. Honestly, to be completely honest, I think your boards might go. I honestly think if you look at it that way, Josh Hart, your rebounding will go up this year, even more than what it was last year, because you're going to be that, you know, small forward, power forward, center, you know what I'm saying, that's getting there and snagging, because you're a dog. You're a dog on the board. So if you ever hear this, Josh Hart, stick with it. Because they're going to need you. They're going to really need you. Now the focus might be on, you know, Brunson and pick and roll, but you're actually going to be the key piece that's going to really help the first team be even more deadly, proficient, unstoppable, unpredictable, because they can run so many different situations. Now, don't get me wrong, bro, my man Hart. We need you to hit. We need that three ball. We need that three ball to come up. Now, don't get me wrong. You did hit some big time shots. You did hit some big time shots. I gotta give that to you. You did hit some big time shots last year, but we need you to hit more of them. We don't need to be in situations where they, you know, guarding up and they're leaving you open because they know that you can't hit the three. I mean, it's gonna be a little different this year now, because now everybody can hit the three. Brunson, OG, Bridges, Cat. We got to get you stepped up. We got to get that jump shot. We got to get that jump shot going. But back to the pickup of Cat. I'm looking forward to tonight's game, because I'm really curious to see how Tibbs runs the offense and what he implements in this offensive scheme. Because if preseason was any indication, I know they lost. I believe they lost the last game. They went 3-1, I believe. But you can already see flashes of how the 1 and 5 are going to be. How it's going to be. I mean, the dude came down. I think his first game came down here to a limitless range for all those in the NBA 2K world. Limitless range shot. I think it was his first shot. That wasn't a statement in itself. Like, yo, yeah. You know what I'm saying? The big don't come out. Hey, yo, cat, shoot that. You know what I mean? Run that pick and roll, pick and pop. Guess what? Now it leaves defenders 1-on-1 with Brunson. And guess what? Big body Brunson is going to get his buckets. He's going to get his buckets. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing and watching the game tonight. And hopefully the Knicks can spoil the championship ring ceremony of the Celtics. I think it's going to be a really good game, a really, really good game. And to be completely honest, you know, I think the Celtics got the best of us last year. And to start it off, like I said, the NBA and the sports politics knew what they was doing by putting clashing these two teams together at the very first game of the season. I promise you, this is going to feel like a playoff game. I promise you that. Because now you have the new look Knicks, and then you have the reigning champions. Let's look at the dynamics here. The reigning champions going to be out there. Hey, look, man, y'all got to go through us. We here. Knicks is like, yo, we coming. What Deion say? What Coach Prom say? I'm coming. Guess what? The Knicks, they're coming. And see, to be honest, I'm gonna say this right now. The Celtics window, I believe, is closing. Let me check something out real quick, because if I'm correct, I'm going to say that I know Kristaps is not playing tonight due to injury. I think he won't be back. I think it's around Christmas time ish. Give or take. I know he's gonna be out for a minute, just like Mitchell's gonna be out until I think next year. It's a long time. But I'm trying to see something real quick and see, because, like I said, the Boston Celtics window is closing, and I think they know that to a degree. And here's why, in my opinion, why I feel like the Celtics window is closing, and why the Knicks, with what the Knicks did, they not only building for now, but they building for the future. If the Celtics is number one, as everyone's trying to compete with and build to beat, the Celtics reign window is but short. And I'm trying to pull up. Why can't I pull this up? I'm trying to pull up their roster. Hold on, folks. There we go. Here we go. So let's see who the bigs are. I'm gonna start there, and I'm starting here for a reason. And this is just my opinion, what made the Boston Celtics so special last year is because, yes, they had wings, they had the backcourt, but what made them special was they had a player that allowed others to work, that allowed others to do their damage, that allowed others to get their buckets. And to me, I think the key factor of this was KP, Kristaps Porzingis, because he's a stretch big. He's a baller. So, and now allow the other individuals to be able to go out and play their game. Allow the 1-on-1s for Jalen Brown. Allow the 1-on-1s for Tatum. It allowed all that. Like, having a big man, a center that can play inside, that can play outside, that can stretch it to the outside the perimeter, to the 3-point line. That's huge. Trust me, I know. I play NBA 2K. I play as a big man in NBA 2K. You know, IwisS TV, by the way. Add me up, Xbox, IwisS TV. You know what I'm saying? But I play as a big man and 25, and having a big that can be dominant on the inside, but as well as be a helper on the outside, to where he's not clogging up the paint, allowing the other players to move, a lot of other players to drive, a lot of other players to ISO, a lot of other players to play their game, makes a huge difference. But again, as good as KP has been, he's been having some injuries lately. And I don't know how much more time he has, to want to deal with, keep playing after, staying post injury. I mean, granted, he's only 29 years old. And if I look at the Celtics roster, you know who else comes to mind? Al Horford. This man's an OG. We got OG, but this dude's an OG. 38 years old. This might be his last year. If they don't matter of fact, I'm gonna say that if they don't repeat, he's leaving. It's gonna be his last year. If they don't repeat, he's gone. You got your championship. You got your, he's gone. So let's look at who they have that can stretch the floor outside of KP and Horford. Okay, we got what? Luke Cornett. He's a power forward. Trying to think who else they have also here. Let's see. Potentially Xavier. Let's see. I mean, Sam Hauser. Hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but Sammy. And that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just looking at this from the decisions that the Knicks did. Who is going to defend Cat? Who's going to defend Cat? If you take out and this we're not talking about this year. Actually, we can talk about this year because Cat said KP's out. KP's not back until later on in the year. Al Horford, dude's 30 years old. Is his legs gonna be moving the way they continue moving? The older you get, what they say, the older you get, the harder it is to get out of bed. The up and down run the court. You think he's gonna be able to, run up and down the court and guard Karl? You know what I'm saying? The entire game? Maybe not. But I put my money on Cat. So me looking at the lineup that the Celtics have, like I said, they key piece. What got them over the hump was the acquisition of Kristaps Porzingis. Because he allowed them to be dominant. He allowed them to, like I said, work their game. Celtics had a good run. But the Knicks is coming. The Knicks is coming. And I believe that, and we can say this with all teams, if it wasn't for injuries, we would have made it too. But that's true and dandy. But the Knicks was right there. The Knicks was right there. There was no way Indiana was supposed to beat the Knicks. A healthy OG, a healthy Mitchell, a healthy, Brunson. They wasn't going to beat the Knicks. They knew yeah. They knew. But like I said, the Knicks is here. They building now and for the future. They got Brunson locked in for the next couple of years. They got Cat locked in for the next couple of years. They got OG locked in for the next couple of years. I think Bridges as well. I mean, the core factor of who you have, they have locked up for the next 4 to 5 years, including this year. And the piece that made Boston Celtics, in my opinion, that made Boston get over that hump was at their big man position. But what the Knicks acquired in this offseason made them unpredictable on offense. I just hope Coach Tibbs realizes what he had last year, that he can expand his bench. He can go and look further deep into his bench because they showed you that, hey, look, they can come in and play. They showed you that they can come in here and they can ball out. Miles McBride had a phenomenal year last year coming off the bench. The dude was huge in the playoffs. Shots after shots after shots after shots. So many shots. This man was like, man, let me take my hair out. Let me let this thing just. You know what I'm saying? Like the Knicks, as much as and sometimes I had to go back and look at their routes. Like, you know what, Dan, the Knicks Then we lost Dante, we lost Randall. A couple of people I think we lost. I was like, yo, we don't have no bench. But now look at preseason showed, yo, the Knicks second team ain't ones to be reckoned with either. Because that point guard, the point guard that the Knicks picked up, I don't know who they scouted or who scouted him, but the point guard, I think his name is, Tyler. Tyler Kolak. Forgive me if I pronounce the name wrong, last name wrong, but Tyler Kolak. That dude is a court general. Court general. I was actually surprised that they went out and they picked up what's the dude name that came over from the 76ers. I was actually Cameron Payne. I was surprised, but the dude he's been getting buckets though. I mean, if it wasn't for him, the Knicks would have beat 76ers in 4. I think they would have beat that because I think he went off. He went off in one of those games that they should have lost. That 76ers should have lost, but Cameron Payne went off and helped them get that. Helped them get that dub because it was like, yo, who the heck is this dude? Where he what? So, and then actually now seeing him in the Knicks uniform and seeing how he plays, he definitely brings and adds something to that second team. Jericho Sims, I'm rooting for this dude. I hope this year is the year that he really, cause the dude got some bounce. Like, have you actually seen this dude jump? Like, literally, this dude got he still got to work on some of the funny. There's still some things he got to work on, but I'm liking, and I'm hoping this year he takes it to another level. You know what I'm saying? He's still fresh in the league, so you can't, can't fault him too much. But from what I've been seeing, what I saw in the preseason, the dude, I like that dude. He's a pretty good player. There was somebody else that the Knicks picked up, Pakom Dadiat. I know I'm probably pronouncing his last name wrong. But Dadiat, he is. I had to go back and watch this dude's highlights, bro. I had to go watch this dude's highlights, and people might think I'm crazy. People might think like, yo, no, there's no way. But to me, the fluidity he has reminds me of what's his name? Oh, damn, what's the dude? Carmelo Anthony. Not saying that he's like a but he has to me. I get like a Carmelo Anthony swag to can't explain it, but he has like, to me, I see like a Carmelo Anthony in him, and he's young too. But the dude got a burner. Like I said, I watched a couple of his games, but he was overseas or whatever, and the dude can ball. There's another guy that I heard they said he was overseas. I think he plays for one of the Spanish teams or whatnot. But I think they still in playoffs or something like that or whatnot. I watched the video on him, and he reminds me, because I think they got the rights. I think the Knicks got the rights to him, so nobody else can sign him. But the dude's a beast. He's to me, he's like that. What's the dude name? Zion Wilson, but as a center. He has a high motor. He has a very high motor, and he's aggressive. He's physical. Dude is very physical, and I can't think of the name because I don't see it on here. But the dude is very physical. So if they definitely bring him, or he comes along sometime through the season, like I said, I know something's going on with that player. I know he has other things going on with the league, a Spanish league team that he's on. Like I said, I know the Knicks have the rights to him, but that's a big man that can come in, time, because I know, like I said, Precious Achua, the dude stepped in big last year. Excuse me, even in preseason. Like, again, like this game tonight, the game tonight is going to be, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. The Celtics is not going to try to lose when they bring championship ceremony night. But at the same time, the Knicks is going to show you, like, hey, look, man, we here. We full staff. Pretty much, y'all full staff. Pretty much. It's going to be a game. It definitely is going to be a game. But yeah, like I said, the addition of Cat is definitely going to allow the Knicks to be very three-dimensional this season. And Tibbs has to keep the injuries. Tibbs is going to have to stretch his game time and give some of these players on the bench some PT time. Because everybody that was playing last year, even with the acquisition of Bridges and Cat, the other people that's on it can ball. And if I remember correctly, that second team was going up against the first team, and it was running with them. And honestly, in basketball, if you ask me, the second team damn near is pretty much like the first team, because there's only 12 to 15 plays that's allowed over a team. Your 5 players, your 5 backups, and then your 2 reserves or 3 reserves. So like Tibbs, you seen what they did last year. You seen what the folks that was on the bench did last year. Yo, go through the bench. Get some of these guys some rest. Allow them to get it. To give these guys some rest, because honestly, to run your 5 all game and not give them enough time is a smack in the face to the bench players that played last year and they played their asses off. Case in point, Miles McBride. And also too, like I was mentioning earlier with Josh Hart, as I think he's a key vital piece to that starting lineup. Even if they say, you know what, we gonna bring you off, guess what? I will put Miles McBride in that position. I'll put Miles McBride in that position. Matter of fact, I'm going to go even better with it. I'll go even better with it. See, there's so many different lineups. Let's see here. There's so many different lineups that the Knicks can go and do to create mismatches, to create opportunities offensively, to keep them three-dimensional. Because let's just say they take out Josh Hart, replace Josh Hart with Miles McBride. I think Miles McBride is a better off-ball player than an on-ball or ball handler player, such as like Brunson and whatnot. But let's just take us even a step further. Let's just say that they put Tyler in that starting lineup. So now you have, check this out. So now you have big body Brunson, Tyler Collette, Bridges, OG, and Cat. You got 2 now offensive visionaries in Brunson and Tyler on the court at the same time, which now gives Brunson the ability to play off ball. Oh man, that's something to look at. Once 2K update these rosters, I might have to do a sim and do that and see how the outcome of games would be with having Tyler Collette and Brunson on the floor together. I really look to see, because even if you do that, second team, you can have Cameron Payne run the point, have McBride at the 2. So you're not really, then you can have, like the Knicks got a bench. It's just, I just hope Tibbs sees, I think pretty much what all Knicks fans are seeing, and how the potential could be maximized, how different mismatches could be made. Because at the end of the day, yes, I thought by them giving up Dante, and now we can get to the Dante situation, and Randall, I thought by giving them having to add Dante would have really made either the first team or the second team even more explosive. Because you would have had Tyler at the 1, you would have had probably McBride at the 2, Hart at the 3 or the 4. You got Precious at the 5, and then maybe Toppin or Sims. So it was different variations that they could have done, for it. But again, the Knicks are building a juggernaut. I can say what y'all want. I can say whatever, man. You tripping? The Knicks are building a juggernaut. They're building a juggernaut. Like, yeah, they're building a juggernaut. Like I said, I I was messed up when when Dante had to be a part of that package. Because I think they said Dante initially wasn't a part of the package, but to get it through, they had to put him on there. Like they had to put him on there, and that's like, can you imagine? Can you imagine the? I mean, just looking at it from a what's the word? From a business or a money aspect. Like the Knicks really would have been the Nova Knicks. Literally would have been a Nova Knicks. T-Mine is a big man, but still, they would have been the Villanova Knicks. Got a nice ring to it. You know, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I thought that Dante would be back. You know, because I see him over at Minnesota. And I'm like, yo, you still playing with your Knicks stuck colors on though? He had the striped orange socks with his orange shoes on. I'm like, bro. You know you can change the color of your shoes now that you in Minnesota. Like you ain't gotta rock the orange, you know what I'm saying? Like you can switch up. You know, but I think, you know, now watching that preseason game and how, you know, back and forth and blah blah blah, you know, I don't know. He cause I said, look, they could put you in the trade, don't mean they can't trade. They in your off season they can't get you back. You know, can't sign you back. Trade's already done already. You know, like I said earlier, I already mentioned the Randall situation, you know what I'm saying? His contract and, you know, his play style, I don't think would have fitted with where they was going to go. Or not even that. Somebody's come off the bench. Somebody's going to come off the bench. But again, you know, they had to get a little to gain more. And I think that's what this whole off season they done. They had to. Did I say that right? They had to gain a little. They gained a little. They gave a little. They gave more. Yeah, that analogy. You know, because Cat does add now a different dynamic to that offense. He really does add a different dynamic to that offense. And it's going to be a special season. It's got to stay healthy. And that's why I say the key factor in all this is Coach Tibbs. You got to go through your lineup. You got to put people in because the people that's coming in, a vast majority of them played last year and showed that, yo, they can keep the ball going when they're in the lineup. Even with the couple of new acquisitions that the Knicks picked up, these guys are ballers. They ballers. So get them in the game. Let a lot of starting units to rest up for about 4 or 5 minutes. For real, if I was coaching and the second string is in and they're balling and they either extending the man, I'm okay, all right, y'all keep balling. Let the first teamers, the starters, get as much rest as possible. Let them get as much rest as possible. So yeah. That's again, I'm looking forward to tonight's game. Because it's going to be a good one. So, with that being said, I'm J Rock, J to the ROCC, aka IwisS HQ.
You are listening to IwisS TV Live, your #1 podcast for all news and updates.
Yes, sir. Peace. Thank y'all. Deuces.